Okay, I got the carbon boom maker going again. The bladder mold, about 15 pounds. Yep, a little bit more than 15 pounds. It'll stay up all night. Air compressor probably won't come on. It might, but not much. You can see the stuff oozing out on this end, and on this end down here I put a see-through piece of plexiglass I cut off of a golf cart windshield, and you see the bladder right there, and it's just oozing out all night long. Got nuts and bolts, and then I put extra clamps on it too. And if you look in there, you can see, the other end of the bladder, Pircan International from France. They got an office in San Diego. Those bladders, I think they're affordable, 40 bucks. They may have gone up a little bit, but they're great. And MacLube goes on the latex bladders from Pennsylvania. And Danny cut that valve out for me, that aluminum cone shape. And I made the two phenolic things, and the phenolic block goes up to about right there. And he combed that out too and matched them. And I gathered this stuff up from around the house and Lowe's or somewhere. And just some couple of nuts and some bolts. And it'll keep dripping down in there. It's still dripping down in there. And it makes a nice carbon fiber boom for the Velomobiles, because I don't do aluminum. So I'm I started making a plug, a new plug, and that carbon boom is going to go from there to there, and then sand forever and ever till your fingers are bleeding, and Bondo and micro balloons and whatever, and it'll come down like most nice looking Velomobiles in the back, down to the front of the seat between your legs. Got a lot of work to do, but mostly right here. There's no work really going that way. And the legs, or the bases for the rear boom tower and the front boom tower will be made down in the mold with sheet wax. I've already got some of it marked with a little dot, but the sheet wax, I'll make a rear base, and the base goes all the way up the wall over here, about halfway up the wall. It makes a strong foot. And the same up front, you know, the other one will be up in here, and it comes up the wall like that. Kind of like a la Daniel Finn, you know. So those are the lateral feet. Station 1, Station 2, Station 3, Station 4, and Station 5. There's 5 stations that will be thick with quad axial and stuff. Those are like the ribs. You could call it ribs. You could call it a carbon bulkhead or whatever, but it's cross members down through there. And the sheet wax goes in first. The sheet wax is 1/8 inch. Well, you can add a 1/16 inch one to it. The sheet wax goes in first and molds to the tool down in there, and then you lay up your plugs, your feet, or your bottom base for the boom tower, and then you take them out, and then you structure them to this area, and you structure the front one to that area. And then you fit them down in there and get the height right and everything and all the measurements. But luckily, I have a velotilt sitting right here for all my givens. I got givens. And the outriggers are about ready to pull a mold off of. I've been sanding on them things for months. Then I had to do a mod to them and sand some more, but I like them. So, when you first turn that thing on, it's really pushing the goop out. It's PTM and W from Los Angeles. That's this epoxy. It's about 6-hour epoxy, so you don't have to worry about, hurrying up or anything. It won't be cured till, I don't know, I'll just wait till in the morning around 9 o'clock, maybe drink some coffee or something, and take that thing out. I've made, I don't know, maybe 4 of these things. But this is the trick I'm using nowadays. This is a lifesaver. This is 3M composite spray adhesive for Formula One people or IndyCar people when they're doing their carbon. You go ahead and load the mold with the dry carbon, and then wet it out. And it's a like an oyster shell. You load up this top one first, then you load up that bottom, and then you flip it over and bolt it all together and turn the pressure on, and keep it. I like to keep it. 15 pounds is good, That's what I've done, and they turned out perfect, so I'll just stay right there with that. It's still dripping over here. That's good. And make sure that's tight for sure. You don't want that plexiglass flying off because it's holding the bladder. But that's the way I wanted to build it, because I want to be able to see, and I want the epoxy to run out. So I just got buckets sitting down there from Harbor Freight, and it does great. But I mean, really, that's it. And you don't want to have to lay each individual wet, gummy mess down in there, each piece of carbon. Just go ahead and load all the carbon with this, for lack of a better word, hairspray. And I know some of the modelers do use hairspray. This is a big mold, and this is good stuff. It dries quick and tacks up. You spray the mold and spray the carbon, and you put it in place with your hands. You don't even need gloves or anything. And then soak it up really good, bolt it together, and turn the pressure on. And that's it, So that'll make a carbon boom. The kind of carbon boom I want, that the stock sliders, these things slide on the boom of all the velomobiles on Earth. They come from the Netherlands and Czech Republic and wherever there's, building velomobiles. But so I don't use a stock square, real sharp pointed, four pointed aluminum boom. I'll just use that one. It's a little bit more rounded, and those sliders fit real good. Let's see. I can show you one over here. Hold on. Let me get this cover off. Okay. There's a slider right there holding a Pinion 18-speed gearbox from Germany. You can slide them backward and forward, and you can adjust them. Here's a slump drive, and it's got a second-story level on it, but it's a slider too. It slides, and that's for a Gates belt. So that's what those things are, but the aluminum's too heavy. So I'm making that boom. I'm going to put it on there and finish making that plug. And this plug I will pull a 2-part mold off of this that bolts together. I'll build a fence up through here all the way to the front, and the mold will bolt together down through there. And then, so it's a 2-part mold. You turn it upside down and lay it upside down, the carbon in it, and then the next day you unbolt it and split the molds So it's another split mold, and take your part out. And the part will go in here. It's a one piece from there to there. And it goes in all at once with Dow U428. I think DuPont bought them out. So, well, now those cans of basically windshield adhesive, which is carbon to carbon and what you want to use, is now says DuPont U428. And they even sell it on eBay, $10 a pop usually. It's good stuff. That's what those other two, the yellow Velomobile you seen me build and the four-wheeler in there in that room, that's what the interior parts are put in with, is that DuPont U428. And this stuff's a lifesaver because I laid that thing up one time with just putting it in each layer and wetting it out. Oh my Lord, what a mess, and 100 gloves. But now I just load all the carbon in, soak it down good, turn it on, and let it run out in the bucket. So it's better. For amateur, I guess I'm all right. So that's it. It's still running out. It'll run out for a while because this is 5-hour epoxy. It just sits there and drips and drips. And this is a lot of fun. But this thing really makes a nice quality part too. Yeah, it's still dripping. This is a really nice part. I'll have some left over. I don't really need it, but so that's it for YouTubers and amateur Velomobile factory. Well, we're getting there. We're just cutting the weight off of this vehicle. That's it. I do it all here, and you know, I got to get this aluminum out of here. You know, I haven't changed the design, but I got to get the weight down because I don't like aluminum. So there's that, and so you know, the thing will just sit on there all night. Thanks.